Hello, hello. Trying to get some more work in on this commission today. Hey, yo, Liminal Mushroom, how you doing? I just got past 50 followers, so I made you a VIP. See that little diamond next to your name? Thanks. Thank you. I keep getting the song Niko and the Niners stuck in my head since that's his name, Niko. Hey, Sir Pippin, how's it going? Love that little dancing guy. Is that an astronaut helmet? That's so cool. Whose is that? That's awesome. I really like that emote. Well, glad to hear it's all right. Hope if it's not too good, then it turns around, or if it's okay in a good way, then that's cool too. Appreciate you stopping by, bud. I just passed 50 followers, and I'm really stoked about that. I'm like eyeballing affiliate right now, and it's crazy. Thank you. I'm really stoked. I just can't believe it because I only started streaming in early July. So this is just like a lot faster than I expected, you know? Oh my god, I know. This is like the best, worst kind of music. Like, I'm bopping so hard right now, even though I know exactly what this song is about. Ooh, I'm getting a nice texture there. I just kind of need to up the contrast a little bit, I think. I think it's too muddled right now. Yeah, that looks nice. I think that conveys the wrinkles in the fabric really nicely. Thanks. Yeah, this one has kind of a limited palette, so that's a little bit of a struggle to work with. The reference photo is primarily like really deep purples. But I like that kind of challenge myself. My overlay and every alert I made was made with a color palette of I think like 16 colors. God, Muse is so good. Freaking love these guys. Yeah, that's apt. How the cards judge us. Love getting called out by paper. Four of Swords. That's probably the best swords. I think the problem is that you're a swords guy, and in tarot, that's not really a good thing. Like each suit still has good and bad, but I'd say overall, swords probably has some of the worst. When it comes to the minor arcana, of course, the worst overall is definitely the Tower. It's not death. Don't let people fool you. It's not death. Death just means change. People think the death card is something scary, but it just means change, and that's often actually in a positive way. But the tower, yeah, that one's bad. Tarot lessons with Jet. I was more well versed in that kind of stuff back in like high school when I had more time on my hands. But yeah, I don't remember as quite as much as I used to know. Fun fact, I'm trying to make more American fans of this band because they're really popular overseas, but they're not very popular in America, and I want them to come here. I want to see them live. They're still making music. I need more Americans to listen to Placebo, please. If they just do an American tour, if they hit New York, I'll be there. I love these guys. And like so a couple of my UK friends are like, "What do you mean you don't know anybody who knows Placebo? That's such a staple emo band." And I'm like, "Not here. Not here." They're fantastic. I highly recommend them. The only thing is I don't suggest playing them around your family. They write a lot of really lewd stuff. A lot of heavy drug use kind of stuff and a lot of kinky shit. So and like people are like, "Oh, rock music, of course it has a lot of like drugs and sex talk." No, no, it's kinky. This is another one by them. I have a lot of them in this mix. If you hang out with me, you're gonna be listening to Placebo, Muse, 21 Pilots, The Gorillas, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of those in this mix. I don't know that band name. I'm gonna have to look them up. I'm assuming they're a band based on context. What kind of music? I listen to a lot of like weird, obscure stuff. My music taste is really diverse. Dope. I'll definitely look them up. Yeah, I know some of the like local punk bands in my area, which is really cool. Although I haven't been as involved in that scene since like COVID happened. Basement shows just aren't the same. It's a bummer. I am not surprised that Liminal Mushroom knows them. He's good at that kind of thing. Yeah, you'll have to show me them sometime, Mushroom. That highlight added a lot of depth, but I gotta blend it out in a couple spots. I gotta get more Primus in this mix. That's what I'm missing. I've been trying to think of more bands that like fit the general vibe I've gone for, which is like a weird alternative, a little experimental kind of thing. And I need to add more Primus. That's the conclusion I've just come to. Primus is great, and they put on an excellent live show too. I've had the opportunity. I got to see them live a few years back. Jeez, when was that? The last like handful of years have just blended together so hardcore because of COVID, you know? Oh, my brain's a mess when it comes to dates. I remember everything but dates. Warlocks are one of those classes that are way more fun to draw than to play for some reason. I don't like playing Warlocks. They're not my taste. Are you already a fan of cake or becoming a fan of cake right now? I'm curious. This is a playlist I made myself too, of all like stuff that I just listen to often that I thought would fit the vibe I'm going for. I know a lot of Twitch streamers like just like pick some Spotify playlist and play whatever. And that's cool, but I'm really picky. Yeah, me too. Me too. 90s represent. If my music taste didn't make that obvious enough. But I do have a lot of obscure bands in the mix also. I like grew up really sheltered, so I got into like weird shit that I just find on YouTube. And so there's some of that in here. But you know, some of those bands have actually gotten big since, so that's pretty cool to see. Like I've been into Dallin Weeks for a long time, and he's finally starting to pick up more traction with his new act. I don't know how, but they found me, or IDK how for short. I realize that's a mouthful. And I've been a fan of his since the Brobecks, and he's like finally starting to get popular, and it's really cool seeing people talk about him now. That looks like some fine robes to me. I'm gonna add more details to them later. I have as part of my sketch here. Let me show you. I have like embroidered edging as part of my sketch with like little corner details. I'm gonna be adding a lot of detail to this later. Little belt details, trim on the robe, a nice cloak pin. I still need to add the buckles. All that stuff is gonna be done separate on top. I kind of started detailing the owl a little bit, but only because it looked too much like a blob when it was just the shape. Owls don't really have a shape. They're just a blob covered in feathers with big old talons, honestly. But I think that looks pretty good for the cloak. I gotta get the neck part still, the collar. The collar right around the shoulders. This is also placebo for anyone keeping score. Maybe I should like add a bot counter or something. Every time a placebo song comes on, send like exclamation point placebo, and it's like, oh, we played 3 dozen placebo songs this stream, and it was only 3.5 hours long. Yeah, that's a pretty nice looking robe, I think. It'll look so fancy when I add the trim. I think I'm gonna do it in silver, unless otherwise requested, because this is a commission, so it's not complete creative freedom. But I know the commissioner, and I know that they trust me, so it's not the first time I've drawn something for this person. I'm also so stoked to be working on large canvases again. I haven't been able to do this since like freaking like high school graphics design class where they had the really good computers at school. But I've got a good computer now. Take that, world. Okay, yeah, I need that to be darker still. I think this should work better. I might need to shade this one with just straight black. This is still not showing up, and this is a dark purple. Jesus Christ. There we go. That was the deepest purple I could manage. The color selector on here could be a little better, to be honest. Crit has got a lot going for it, but the color selector isn't really my fave. Oh, yeah. So I'm using masking layers. So I'm specifically using masking layers. So, let me see. Would this make a good example? Yeah, do you see that? That's this ghosting is because I just turned off the mask. So my shading layer is masked specifically to the color it's tied with. And I make different masks for different colors unless they're like really close to touching and I want to shade them separately, then I'll make them separate. But you can make as many or as few as you need, and they'll take what you're working and apply it only to whatever the layer below it has. So I have a bunch of folders on the side, and each one has one color in it, and then a layer above it where the shading is that's set to a mask. And then if I turn mask mode back on, you'll see that those ghostly marks disappear. That's my masks doing their work. And like the real life equivalent to that would be like you can get masking fluid for paint, which is honestly usually just liquid latex. And you paint liquid latex onto your canvas and then you can paint over it. And when you're done painting whatever you're painting around it, you can peel off the liquid latex and any paint that's stuck to it, and that part of your canvas will still be clean for you to do something light over it. So like if you did a circle with the masking and then you painted the night sky and then you peeled the circle away, you'd have a nice bright moon. God, cake is so good. the CC, the CC picked that up as cupcake is so good. That's cute. That looks nice. Also, for anyone lurking, I do have a nice little lurk command if you'd like to say hello. If you'd rather stay private, I respect that too. Hey, unicorns, how's it going? I'm working on a commission. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. This is a human warlock named Niko Thorn. He's got a horned owl and a dope ass staff with a lantern. I drew this and did the base color yesterday. If you wanted to check that out, you can check it out on my YouTube or on the VOD. I backed it up on YouTube already. And then I kept that stream kind of short, because I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but I have a cold. and I wanted to get what I had so far confirmed by the commissioner before I continued, and I got the thumbs up. So I wanted to keep working on it. Right now I'm doing shading, and then I'm going to move on to some of the detail. So if I just turn this off real quick, I'll show you my sketch. Yeah, there it is. So there's going to be like embroidered edging on the cloak, and there's going to be cool details on the belt. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, I feel like I sound kind of nasally, but I have a head cold. Yeah, so I'm gonna be working on some more details for this guy. Hi, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, just last night I surpassed 50 followers. So unfortunately I didn't get to have the goal pop up on stream or anything, but it was still really I'm stoked about it. I got 50, yeah. And at this point it's just a matter of keeping my view count steady, and I'm set for affiliate, which is just crazy to say cuz I've been doing this for less than 3 months. And to me, that sounds like some nonsense YouTube clickbait title, like affiliate in under 90 days. Like that doesn't sound real. But I'm like right on the cusp of it. Just a matter of time based on how my view counts continue to perform. Aw, thanks. I definitely have to give a lot of credit to PK. If it wasn't for PK, dude, he's been like the #1 advocate for my channel. Yeah, I have every requirement for affiliate except for the viewer count one. But I like with how this is going and how my statistics have been, it's not looking far off. It's really not. Which is just super crazy to say. I did not expect to be like catching on quickly on Twitch, and even if my there's still the potential that the community could plateau, and that's fine. I honestly, I'm an introvert. I love a small community. I just would really like to hit affiliate already because I want to be able to include like channel points and emotes and all that kind of stuff, just so y'all can have more fun when you're hanging out with me, you know? I've already started working on some emotes. I got like the base drawings done, and I just need to do like color and shade, and a couple of them are going to be like just barely animated. I'm not an animator. Excuse me, why are you being so quiet? Well, YouTube Music just had a stroke. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I want to have really chill vibes, and I want to stay true to my theme. And I'm going for mage core. That's what I'm gonna call it. Mage core is my vibe. Yeah, I love tarot cards. I collect tarot cards, so a lot of my stuff has tarot themes and tarot symbolism. Um, I've used alchemical symbols as part of my branding so far. I want to go for the vibe that like this is my mage's shop, and that people can buy potions and ingredients and components and things, but also can get their portrait done. I like really wanted to come into this with a brand because I was like, I feel like a lot of the cool streamers I've seen have these awesome overlays and stuff, and I want my stream to look pretty. Yeah, like okay, unicorns, do you know if I can preview alerts while I'm streaming? Because I don't actually have most of the alerts unlocked yet, but I've set up most of them so I could show them to you. There's just a couple where I still need to add the sound effects, but the sound effects need to be cut down a little bit. They're too long. But I've done like the majority of them already, and including like some that will cost channel points and be like channel points pop-ups. Okay, I knew I could do a preview, but I wasn't sure if that would actually send through on the stream. Yeah, would you guys like to see the alerts I've been working on with their sound effects and everything? I picked some really fun ones. Okay, let me just open that. Give me 1 second here. Okay. I've got it open. Um, and if I tested the sound balancing with recording, but I find that sometimes the recording sound balancing and the Twitch sound balancing aren't identical. So if any of them are loud, please let me know so that I can fix that because I don't want to be startling people. I want it to be chill. So this one's for follows. I have this for subscriptions. This one's for resubs. YouTube Music, why are you misbehaving today? Okay. It doesn't want to play Cakes I Will Survive specifically. That's the one it has a problem with for some reason. Okay. I guess I need to remove that from the playlist. Yeah, I like the laugh. Okay, this one's my favorite, and it's for gift subs. Oh gosh, did it? Yeah, that was a really good sound sample for that laugh. I tried to get really clear ones. This is what I have for cheers. This one's gonna be for alerts, and this one is among my favorites as well. That's for raids, I mean. Can't read and talk at the same time. I have this for charities. I don't want to do charities anytime soon. I want to grow the channel more before I start like being like, hey, throw money at charity, but I'd like to do charities eventually. Thank you. Yeah, it's just 6 frames for the fire. I'm not an animator. Same with the candles on my overlay. It's 6 frames. Okay, so I have this one that's gonna be for channel points as well as one that I'm gonna set off when my pets interrupt me.
Aww.
This one is to make fun of me when I die, as well as for when I have tech errors. Because I do play games on stream too. I don't just do art, I do both. This one is for like when people want to call me out for being lewd or remind me that I have an audience. And I named, I'll tell you what I named the channel points redeem for this one because it's stupid. So that one is named Right in Front of Thine Mutton. Really? Right in front of thine mutton? Um, this one I thought would be good for like when something funny happens, or again, if people want to make fun of me for like doing something stupid in a game. This one's for paying like a little compliment. Just a little like, you're a gem pop up. You guys are really gonna like this one, I think. This is probably my second favorite. Uh, it's called Thou Art Foolish, and it's a channel points redeem to make fun of me, and it's really funny. I think I have to enlarge that one a little bit. I gotta tweak the sizing and stuff of this one. And then I'm gonna have a little redeem for like a clap as well. That's not gonna have a picture or anything. There's a couple that I'm still working on. But yeah, that's what I've got set up so far, and I'm really excited about it. I feel like I picked some really funny noises. Thanks for letting me share that, guys. Let me make sure I'm on the right layer before I do anything stupid. Yes, okay, I am. Are there sleeves on here too? No, they're on this one. Yeah, I found that really bad fanfare for the Fool, and I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I need to include this. I didn't want to have too many fanfare noises, so I had to actually change some of the other noises to include that one. Because originally I was gonna have a channel point redeem that would like catch my attention. It's one of the drawings I'm working on of a hand with a horn. Let me show you. Yeah, it's gonna be a pop up of this hand with a horn. And originally I was gonna have that play a fanfare also. But after I found the really bad fanfare for the Fool, and I already have fanfare for one of the other ones, I decided instead to make this a hunting horn sound, uh, or like a war horn kind of sound, where it's just one blow rather than some sort of fanfare. But eventually, this will be a Channel Points redeem. Also, it'll do the same thing the others did, where it pops up like right around here, and it'll play a little horn sound, and that'll be like if I'm distracted, you'll be able to use that to get my attention. Because admittedly, I'm a distractible person, and I never want to ignore chat. You know. Thanks. Yeah, I was looking. I actually was looking at like real hunting horns from I think the hunting horn I looked at was actually from much later than the time period I'm actually going for, but um you know, magic exists in this setting, so I feel like it's okay to flex that a little bit. And I was looking at a real hunting horn that the Met had photographed, and it had some really cool engraved like animal details on it. But obviously I didn't want to copy that exactly. I wanted to make it a little bit more my own thing. Um, so I just kind of winged it with this weird starburst thing on the front because, you know, if you were to view this from the other angle, it would be like a starburst inlaid onto like a diamond. And I don't know, I just made it up. But yeah, I wanted to have something for people to be able to get my attention since I can be distractible. Thank you, unicorns. I really appreciate that. You have a wonderful stream, okay? I hope you have a great night. Alright, that gives the darkest parts a little bit more depth. I think that passes the zoom test. It's simple, but those are tiny bits. All it really needs. Plus, there is gonna be hair. There is gonna be hair in his hood. But that's also something that I treat as like a final detail kind of thing. I don't like to do hair until the end. I think I want to shade the leather next. Actually, I should probably do the lightest purple first. I should do all the purples first. Thanks for the lurk, Sir Pippin. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was cute. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Mage core, boys. I'm inventing my own aesthetic. It's gonna be big. Yeah, mage core is when you're past that. Um, Especially because like I was trying to pull influence without being like obviously direct, but I was trying to pull influence from like the concept of like Howl Pendragon and his home, like his bedroom in the moving castle in particular, the like maximalist stuff everywhere kind of vibe. And you can't tell me he reads books. He does not read books. That man is done studying. He's too busy getting laid. Yeah, I don't know. I want to feel like a Studio Ghibli mage in my own way, you know? The jet version of a Studio Ghibli mage cuz they're just mysterious and fuckable and that's such a vibe. Why wouldn't you want to be that? Need a bigger brush, blend this out a little bit more and then come back in with more of a highlight. Considering there's going to be like an embroidered sigil over that, I think that ain't bad. Yeah, I think that's it for the purples. YouTube music. What is going on today? You gonna break on me every other song? Like, what the hecky, man? Yeah, I don't know what is up with. I've never had a problem like this with YouTube music before, and I've been using it for years. I don't know what's going on, genuinely. If it does it again, maybe I'll close and reshuffle the playlist. I don't know. I'm just like, is this like? I keep pausing for a moment, thinking, is this one of those songs that just fades in? Do I need to just be patient for a second? And then there's like an awkward silence, and I'm like, no, I don't want this. Don't take my music from me. It's my crutch. Well, it didn't do it this time. Demonic poultry. I mean, depends on the music. Sometimes it can be. So you and I both know that. But in this case, it very much isn't. And I'm like, why are you being like this? It's so weird how screens work sometimes. I can very clearly see the shading on one screen, but not another. That's the thing that bothers me about digital art. Like, varying screens just makes it, you know, so I'm like, sometimes somebody compliments something and I'm like, that's not the color I picked though. Like, that's weird. You can hardly see that on this screen. But on my tablet screen, it's more apparent. So I guess I need to go darker with this color. That's what I'm learning here. Yeah, I really appreciate a hidden track that has like a little peppering of audio before it just to like warn you. Do you know what I mean? Like the hidden track off the new Clancy album, the new album Clancy by 21 Pilots is it has like bird song in between and it's like not consistent. It's like here and there there's birds singing and it gives you like a heads up that there's still something coming, and I appreciate that kind of thing. Okay, I think that color is a little more visible. Digital color theory and traditional color theory are so different. Sometimes I need to remind myself of that. I think once some highlights and texture are in there, that'll pop nicely. That line slaps so hard. Don't trust a perfect person and don't trust a song that's flawless. That shit slaps. That's why I love 21 Pilots. Their fucking wordplay. It's so good. I'm not gonna lie. Step aside, Shakespeare. I know, every album is better than the last. And it's still, like, true to their essence as well. It's always got, like, the same energy, the same vibe. It just ages like wine. Fucking love them. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, Josh Dunn is hot as shit. He's hot as shit, man. Okay, yeah, that's a lot more visible. Yeah, I mean, have you seen that man? Jesus Christ, eye candy much. Boy, god damn. I also did give this guy falconer's gloves in consideration of the owl. This is another placebo song, and it's very subject to being misheard. And it hasn't got to the part yet, but curious if you guys will mishear it too. Well, I'm glad you think they're nice gloves. Yeah, they have that the higher up side for the, talons. But they are cool looking too. A lot of people use them for costuming and stuff for a reason. But also the common mishearing for this song, he is saying black eyed. Black eyed. like black-eyed Susans, and it a lot of people mishear it as black guy, black guy, and they're like, "Why is this pasty white man singing about being a black guy?" Oh, geez, sorry for the cough. This is why we use push to talk, babes. Ugh. Also, the singer for this band is one of like my big fashion inspirations as well. Brian Molko and Gerard Way. I'm like, can I just take your wardrobe, please? The whole thing, all of it. I want to wear it every day. All right, gotta highlight those bad boys, and I think they're gonna look pretty good. I think I'm just gonna use the same color as the staff for the highlights. I try to stick to a small color palette whenever possible. Use the same purples, use the same browns as much as possible, because it just makes everything look more cohesive. So unless something is meant to seem out of place, I like to just try to color pick as much as possible from the base colors I chose. And then I'll usually pop in a couple extra lights and a couple extra darks for the particularly light highlights and the particularly dark shadows. Yeah, purple and brown are a beautiful combo. And I did go for brown leather. I went for a really, really, really dark brown, so it almost looks gray. It almost looks black, but it is brown at the end of the day. A couple people thought it was gray because of screen differences. Um, so I might tweak it a little bit, possibly, but it is brown. That's already popping a hell of a lot more. Hey, strength is a good card. Okay, gotta highlight those boots still, but I think that's popping. I just want to add a little texture over top to make it look more leathery. Because it just looks too, like, silky smooth right now. Leather's got a rougher thing going on. Bro. Bro, my prayers. Praying emoji hands. I don't really like digging through chat for that one right now. Alright, let's just blend that out a little bit, and I think we got gold. Alright. Alright, that's gonna look poppin' with some detail. Probably gonna overlay the sketch on top of this at a really low opacity and then just like trace out them details. Ain't too shabby. Um, this one is Reapers by Muse. There's the title for you. It's off Drones. I freaking love them, man. I listen to so much Muse. You hear anything you like, just ask. I trust me, I love talking about music. Yeah, there's a lot of bots where like somebody can type in something and just like identify the song that way. And I was like, I could add one of those, or I could talk about music. You know? Yeah, not only that, but I could only find ways to have it title the song if it was open in my browser, and I'm using the app. I'm sure there's a workaround, but not one I've found yet. But I was like, I don't care. I want to talk about music. I'd rather people ask me. I'm telling you, man, we gotta. Maybe I'll see about adding like a counter. I was considering adding a fuck counter, and and maybe I should add a placebo counter while I'm at it. Um, I think I can set them to be per stream or all time also, and I was considering making the fuck counter all time. Although obviously, you know, it would be starting from when I implement it. I'm not going back for that. But yeah, I was considering adding that as a command. Do you think I should do that? Add an all-time fuck counter. I know a lot of gamers have death counters, and I don't have one of those right now. Even though you know I play Baldur's Gate on Tuesdays, um, I don't have one of those right now. But for some other games, I might add one. So I was thinking of doing like death counters for certain games, um, and like an all-time fuck counter. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, I would probably have it as like the mage has said fuck X number of times since, and then like the date I implemented it. So the longer it would go for, the more ridiculous it would become. As far as I'm aware, that's pretty simple too. I just have to check what the Nightbot coding is for a counter. I'm not sure what that is like. I haven't done a counter yet. I learned how to code randomizers before counters for some reason. I don't know. I'm extra like that. Give him a little lippy action. I do have a bit of a cartoony influence, but not so much so that I don't give men lips or eyelashes because I think that shit is ridiculous and it removes a lot of expression. I understand why it's done, you know, cartoons are simplified so much, but at the same time, men have lips. It's ridiculous. Men have lips, men have eyelashes, men can be pretty. This one is Drive by Incubus. He got lips now. Yeah, I definitely, like, I keep it very subtle. Because I don't want it to look like he's got lipstick on or something. But I don't not give people lips. I might even take these a little bit darker, even. Turn my opacity up a little bit, too. I'm working... My brush is at 75. I just moved it up to 85, and my layer is also at 75. And it's a masking layer. I usually use 75 as a baseline for shading for my layer opacity, and then the brush varies depending on what I'm shading and how obvious I want the colors to be. And when I'm done with that, sometimes I'll tweak the layer opacity if I think it should be more or less transparent based on how it looks. See, just a simple little lip. I'm not even like shading it or anything. That's plenty for me. For like a male character where it's not even a portrait, it's not focused on the face, you know, it's a whole body. I don't want to go too much detail. If you go in too much detail with the lips, you're gonna end up giving him some juicy ass BJ lips. So like, God, I can't even imagine how my buddy would react if I gave this to him with the dude having some fucking BJ lips. That would be so funny. Not even gonna lie. All right, I want to add a little highlight to the nose and the jawline, and maybe a little like the smallest highlight in the world on that forehead. I mean, listen. If this was an original character, I would not hesitate. I would not hesitate to give this motherfucker some juicy lips. But this is not for me. I need this to be lighter. Jesus Christ, it's gonna be almost straight white for highlighting this man's skin. My buddy said he wanted pale. He's getting pale. Who needs to touch grass when you can be a warlock? That made me picture a meme in my head. You know, like the that's good, that's bad meme. Not the Drake one because he's a pedophile, but the one where it's like, yeah, I like that, and the one where it's like, no, I don't like that. And it's touching grass versus touching demon ass. That's where my power comes from. Barbarians, they touch grass. Those guys, they go and work out. If it's anything like the OG Olympics, they like bottle and sell their sweat. Me, I touch demon ass and they give me superpowers. Now I'm Eldritch blasting bitches. That tiniest highlight did a lot of work, I think. His face just feels more three-dimensional to me now. So that's pretty much it for shading the character. I still have to do his hair, embroidery. I think he has some markings on his face. I'll double check the email I got about the commission for that. And I want to do like some cool thing with his lantern and detail and shade the owl more. I just kind of started with getting the texture for the feathers in there. And for anybody lurking who's like new to the channel, doesn't follow anything like that, I normally stream Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's at the top of the overlay as well. Today was just a little catch-up stream to get some more work done on this guy. Thought I'd have a little fun chatting with people while I'm at it. Hold on, I gotta enlarge the shit out of my brush. That's better. Okay, I went from 15 to 120. From the face to the staff. No captions. 120 wasn't a time. I'm at 120. Thank you, captions. Please don't exclude hard of hearing people by being terrible to understand captions. AI, so reliable. Yeah, if any of y'all are the same brand of ADHD as me, then captions help you think. And I do have captions. Alternately, you know, hearing problems, auditory processing issues. I got captions for you. They're a little bit wonky every now and then, but for the most part, they're pretty good. And you can usually tell from context what they're missing. Yeah, you should, Demonic Poultry, you should stop in with captions on for a Baldur's Gate stream sometime. It's really funny the stuff that it puts in instead of like the fantasy names and places. It's trying its best to put that stuff to modern English, you know? So I've caught it before because I have a little box in OBS where I'm recording my stream and broadcasting from that shows me it configuring the text as I'm speaking. So I can see it even before it pops up on the stream what it thinks I'm saying and what it's about to send out. And I've caught it a few times where like I'll say Asterion and it actually caught that one quite well this time. But it often says a stereo on. It kind of gave up on Lae'zel. Like it said Lae'zel there, and it says something different for her every time. Yeah. Did it say a gazelle that time? My pop filter's kind of blocking it a little bit. Yeah, it's it makes me laugh seeing some of the stuff it comes up with. But as long as it's good enough that people can figure out what I'm talking about from context, I'm happy. You know, it's not like I can have somebody actively transcribing me or something. So this is the best we got. It's better than nothing. Yeah, it does that sometimes based on like when you finish your sentence, it'll go back and change some things thinking, "Oh, that doesn't fit the context." It's interesting to watch it in my opinion. I don't know. I just like seeing how this kind of stuff interprets language. Yo, Demonic Poultry, are you familiar with this band? Arctic Monkeys. I can't remember if I ever told you why I got into them. Yeah, they're great. I really like the Arctic Monkeys, but when I got into them for all the wrong reasons. There's just this girl I had a thing for in high school who was obsessed with them. And I was like, oh, maybe if I like get to know them, that'll give us something to talk about. And I did. And she was 100% straight. And I was like, I feel lied to. That's not the vibe I got. So stupid. Remember those days when we were baby gays? Genuinely. I was like, oh, I read the signs wrong. You're not gay. You're just grunge. You're grunge with the flannels, not gay with the flannels. Surprising overlap there. Hate when my gaydar betrays me like that. Why does it always work like that? Lesbians have like a sense for that. I don't know how else to say that. But like, I feel like it particularly works toward like bi AFABs, you know? Like, they hear that a bi AFAB is dating an AMAB, and they're like, oh, I gotta hit on that. It's so weird. But I already have plans for this foundation. I can't revamp this now. I'm invested in the garden layout. I haven't even planted anything yet, but it's gonna look good. Whoa, 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 cancel the U-Haul! I am in a relationship, lady. I think with some wood texture on top, that shading will look really nice. Wait, in general or by lesbians? because like I feel like that's I have puns depending on which way this goes. Okay, by everyone, because like then I was gonna say maybe like some of the men were like, "Oh, you know how to handle meat," you know, like. I was that sausage machine. I don't fucking know. I've never done butcher stuff, but I've certainly been hit on by dudes. Oh gosh, what a world. maybe maybe we're just severely underestimating the number of people with like knife kinks, you know? Cuz like I know it's not uncommon, but is it that common? Oh my gosh. I hope you think of that like every time you have a shitty day. You know, just let it feed that ego a little bit when you need it. Like, you know, I'm feeling kind of shitty today, but that lady back when I was a butcher thought my arms were great. This wasn't this wasn't a compliment, but it was a bullying thing. But when I was back in high school, just walking around minding my own business, somebody looked at me and said, "Well, somebody had their Querios this morning." And I'm like, I can't even be mad. That's funny. Like, if only most homophobes were so funny, I could deal with it a lot better if they made a joke of it like that, you know? Be like, ha ha ha, never say that again. Say it to my face. You know, like, I probably, like, sound like the least threatening person in the world, too, which is what makes it funnier. Like, I probably sound like a stiff breeze can knock me over, and I can't even argue that because it's true. Yo, this was such my jam in high school, honestly. This whole album, when this came out, I was jamming so hard to this for months in high school. Oh, hold on, I gotta fix my posture. I am crumpled right now. So like I know a lot of people have like a redeem for channel points to like hydrate and fix their posture. And I was like, those are really nice to have, and it's got to be really nice to get reminded to do those things when you're in the middle of like an 8 hour Baldur's Gate binge, like I do sometimes, you know. But I don't have a camera, so like, would people even bother? Most people I follow have cameras, so I haven't really seen what people without cameras do yet. I gotta find some people without cameras, but that really is a minority here on Twitch. Patrick Stump is just so flawless. I will never stop singing his praises. I've seen him live, and it was a magical out of body experience. He's just so goddamn talented. Like, when I saw him live, to be clear, it was not Fall Out Boy that I saw live. It was Patrick Stump that I saw live. I saw him when he was touring for his solo album that he did while Fall Out Boy was on hiatus. And it's called Soul Punk, and it's really goddamn weird, and I love it because I love weird shit. And he is so talented. I lost track. I lost count of the number of instruments he played that night. He easily surpassed a dozen instruments that he played, and he wasn't even the headliner. He was the opener. He was the opener. He didn't even have that much time, and he was just like, "Yo, gimme that," and went through like 14 plus instruments. It was insane. He did a Phil Collins in the Air cover too, where he did the vocals and the drums Phil Collins style. It was great. And if you listen to the actual album was entirely Patrick Stump. There is no one else involved in that album, down to like the samples he used for the synths. He made those too, like. Like, he did everything himself. He just was like, I have this creative thing in mind, and it's weird, and it's different, and I want to do it. And he did all of it himself. And so when he toured for it, he had a bunch of stand-in musicians, because obviously he can't play all of that all at once by himself. Um, but he just kept taking turns with them on the different instruments while he was playing his music. And it was incredible to watch. And not only that, not only did he nail the vocals while also nailing over a dozen instruments, he danced his ass off, and he was in a 3-piece suit under the stage lights. And I'm like, homeboy, you are something else, man. You are something the fuck else, Patrick Stump. He was so sweaty, I couldn't even blame him. It was hot as shit. That man's a goddamn trooper. Emo clock. I love you, Frankie Hero. Starting to get that shiny look, but not quite there yet. I need to build a little more contrast back and forth. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not 100% done with it yet. I want to add a little more texture for a bit more barkiness. But I did want it to look kind of like gnarly and uneven, you know? That looks pretty shiny. Okay, see, this time, it's not that YouTube music broke. This one's a hidden track. And this has some birds. I don't know how well you can hear it. It's pretty quiet. So I don't know how well it comes through on stream. But this one's a hidden track. Give it a second and it'll go. In fact, this is the only hidden track I put on this playlist, because it has something leading up to it. Don't ever change 21 Pilots. Don't ever. Stay weird. Stay weird. Can I just say, if I could put one fuck in the Owl House, Hootie would get it. Hootie should say fuck. I want Alex Hirsch to fry his voice doing that dumbass voice, yelling the word fuck just once. Just once. Yeah. Yeah, it would be like Ida is just about to say fuck. Specifically Ida, because we know, come on. If you've seen the Owl House, you can't tell me Ida doesn't say fuck all the time. All the time. She's that kind of auntie that does not care to censor herself, you know? And Ida would be very close to saying fuck. And Hootie would take it from her. And she would be so angry. Right? Right? I'm Lord Sparky. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah. Yeah, I read that in their voice. Yep. Yep, I read that in their voices. I can't believe that we got Wendy Malick and Alex Hirsch in the same thing. I love both of them so much. They're both so talented. And I'm very glad that I got some sort of media that had both of them in it. I cannot emphasize how stoked I am. Wendy implied alcoholic Malik. I don't know why every character she plays is an alcoholic. But there's only one exception, and that character was pregnant for the entire movie. So obvious, and it's a Disney movie, so obviously they were gonna show her drinking. I could also see Lilith being the one to to be about to explode and say fuck when Hootie takes over. I love that show. Wendy has a fantastic voice, and she's in a lot of my favorite things, if I'm being completely honest. She's in BoJack Horseman. She's in The Owl House, which The Owl House deserved better. The Owl House deserved better, but, you know, Disney. It was too gay for Disney. But she's in The Owl House, she's in BoJack Horseman. She's even in Pushing Daisies. And I don't know, I know a couple of you here know what that is because I've told you. I have a few friends in chat. But for those who are joining us, if you've heard of Pushing Daisies, power to you because most people haven't. And if you've seen it, I'm gonna mail you a trophy. Pushing Daisies is easily my most underrated fave. She's she's a synchronized swimmer in Pushing Daisies. And once again a huge bitch because Wendy Malick often plays really awful people. Either people who are awful or people who are like abrasive in a fun way. Like Ida is considered a handful and is considered abrasive, but she's still a fun character. And that's a lot of the kind of stuff she plays, I find. And she does a damn good job of it. Fucking icon. She does a great job of it. Obviously, you know, Beatrice Horseman is one of my favorite roles that she's done. She just blows me away in that one. Pushing Daisies was also incredibly star-studded for how underrated it is, though. Like, every time I rewatch it, I recognize another person. And I've rewatched that show a lot of times. That definitely adds a little drama to the eyes. I think I can take that shadow even darker. I also, hold on, I need to fix this. It's bothering me. That is so much better. Okay. Okay. I can... Oh. 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 Okay, now I can move on with my life. There, that's a little more obvious from a distance. Because you shouldn't really have to zoom in to see shading. You should be able to look at the whole thing and see those kinds of details. Look at that little fella. Owls are so weird. Okay, I still need to shade the glass. I want to touch up the owl a little bit. And then I want to start adding texture to some things. I want to texture the leather and the tree bark. And then after that, I'm probably going to move on to the details that are in my sketch. For anybody who's joined us since I showed it last, let me show you guys. I always sketch on traditional paper first. It's just what I'm best at. And this is the sketch for this one. And you can see there's some details on the sketch that have not made it to the digital yet. So first and foremost, he's got hair. He does have hair. That's like one of the things I do last. I tweaked this, which is why it's got a weird slice. So I need to do the sigil on the blindfold, which is going to be cooler looking than that, but in real life, in person, this is about the size of my pinky nail, and I've got small hands. So, yeah, I couldn't really detail that a whole bunch on paper. I'm gonna detail it more digitally. And then I have the cloak pin. I still have to do the buckle for the belt, the buckle for the tome strap, the details on the belt, the details on the falconer's gloves, trim on the robe, buttons on the shoes, or at least on the one, can't see the other at this angle, the soles of the shoes. I was considering adding a hand wrap to the staff. I'm gonna ask the commissioner which they'd prefer. Because let me pull up the reference again. Yeah, the reference does have a little hand wrap, but I'm not certain if he wants that or not, so I'll have to ask. Those were the references I was given for this character. And yeah, so I gotta do the buckle, I gotta do some detail on the clothes and the belt in particular. I want to texture the tree bark, and I want to texture the leather, because right now the leather looks too smooth to me. Yeah, you know, you wouldn't want to be gripping tree bark all day. That would get irritating on your hands. So a wrap would definitely be more comfortable. But that's the kind of, I don't know, that's the little kind of things that, like, I could just do that, but I should probably ask. Let me pull this back in a little bit so we can shade that glass. And then I do want to put some kind of interesting glow inside the lantern as well. The reference has it as a blue flame. I could do some kind of alternate colored flame. Alternately, I could do some kind of, like, magic spark situation. I mean, there's plenty of ways to come up with some kind of light source in this sort of fantastical setting, you know? So, you know, while we're back on Fallout Boy, shout out to Andy Hurley. Short King. Love Andy Hurley. That guy's fantastic. Alright. There's just a little more I want to put on the owl. This is such a jam. Also, this song samples Barack Obama. There he was. You catch that? That was Obama. Such a bop. I don't know why it's got Obama in it, but it's a bop. Not gonna lie. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even normally that good at identifying voices, and the first time I heard this song, I was like, "Is that fucking Obama in his song?" Like, it completely caught my attention, and so like I assume that's the point. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why did people overplay the shit out of "Shut Up and Dance with Me" when they could be playing a song that samples Obama? It's the same damn band. That was Walk the Moon. It's the same damn band. Why couldn't why couldn't why couldn't Feels Good to Be High be the radio hit? It's not like we don't have a ton of radio hits about drugs anyway. And then we could have Obama sampled in a song on the radio. But no, they had to play Shut Up and Dance with Me 5 million times every weekend. Yeah, they definitely have a lot of like disco and 80s influence and like pop 80s, you know? And it's weird because normally I'm not into that kind of thing. Like that is not my typical taste in music, but when Walk the Moon does it, I'm into it. I don't know. They're good at it. They're good at what they do. All right, I think that looks a lot nicer with that softened a little bit. Doesn't he look floofier now? More huggable, perhaps? I just got to touch up the lines a little bit because I didn't actually make this one a mask. I just kind of went and that's what I get for drawing with a head cold, I guess. I think he's looking pretty handsome. He is indeed friend shaped, even if he got them big ass talons. Look at them things. He gonna rip your eye out. Them wide ass eyes. All right, I think it's time I dig through my texture brushes a little bit. Let me pop a couple extra layers in for this also. I want to texture the glass. I want to texture the staff. And the leather. Separately from what is textured already. And I like how the clothes look. I don't think they need a texture. I think the brush lends to the fabric type I was going for. But the leather and wood in particular definitely need it. And I want to give the glass that, like, old, warbly thing. I don't know how to describe that when it's, like, not perfectly even. Almost looks like it's, like, being rained on, that kind of texture. That works. Yeah. It's wild too because glass actually lends itself to being quite smooth. Uh, it's more that like their work tables shit often were just fucked up from being hammered on and stuff. And I don't know, man. Glass is weird. Liquid glass also has a surface tension that has it naturally settle at 1/4 of an inch thick exactly. So there's a neat little glass fact for you. It does. I want to eat molten glass so bad. It looks like caramel or taffy sometimes. When they're like pulling it to make cane, it looks like taffy. But when they're just like scooping it, it looks like caramel. And I really want to put it in my mouth. In the time I've worked with glass, I've largely managed to resist that. But I've never worked in glass blowing. And I find glass blowing looks the most munchable. It's the biggest forbidden snack of glass work. Yeah. It's the candy you can only taste once. Alright, I think that texture is great, but I think we can do it up a little better with a different mode, different blending mode. Let's try soft lightfall first. Soft light tends to work well for me. Not in this case. No. Yeah, no. I think just normal with a lower opacity is probably going to be best. Aside from that, I like color dodge, but it's a little too subtle. And this is on full opacity, so I can't turn that up. Yeah, so color dodge looks nice if you're zoomed in, but it's not going to look good from far away. So I think I want to go normal and just drop the opacity a little bit, honestly. That's at 60%, and I think that looks good. Molten glass pineapple. Indeed. Indeed. I'd also like to add Brazil nuts to that list for oddly specific reasons. Here you go, guys. Have some free feet. That looks much more like leather. Freak. Oh gosh. Yeah, that looks a lot more like leather now. Perfect. Boom. First shot, both textures. What are the odds? I am a picky bitch. It is rare for me to go with the first one I pick, and I did it with this and the leather. Goddamn. Let's play it proper now. Look at that. That's awesome. I like this brush. I'm adding this to my favorites. What a great brush. Look at that texture. That's gorgeous. That's exactly what I needed. Fuck yeah. That worked great. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say aside from that. Worked great. I like this brush. I have so many texture brushes on here that it's been a little overwhelming to go through all of them. Because I downloaded like 2 brush packs and one of them just happened to have like a million textures and I didn't realize. For like 2 packs. And so I haven't really gotten a chance to go through a number of them yet, and sometimes I'm going through for a minute before I pick one I like. Alright, sweet, I want to add some of the buckles and buttons and metal bits. And then I'm gonna move on to detailing his clothes, doing the embroidery, doing the trim, doing the nice detail, all that kind of stuff. Thought this would take longer, honestly. Considering that I have a cold and I'm also streaming this and talking and everything at the same time, I've only been working on this for like less than 6 hours digitally. So I don't know, that's pretty solid in my opinion. I'm not the fastest artist, but I'm definitely getting better. I'm not sure how long the initial sketch took me, but that didn't take me particularly long either. It's a pretty simple pose, which helps. It was the requested pose. Because, yeah, I have these references. This is what I was sent. Let me change to a brush that's not going to block everything. Yeah, so I was sent, like, this reference for the face, because he's supposed to have little marks on his face. He's supposed to be pale. He's supposed to be kind of smirking. And he's got gloves and the eye patch with some kind of sigil. I was sent this for, like, the outfit. And he also happens to have an owl. I was sent this for the staff, but told to, like, riff off of it a little bit, you know? Not copy it exactly or anything. And that's the pose I was given. So, this is what I came up with based on that. And the character description. And, yeah, let's get into some detail then. I'm going to move my sketch up and have it at a really low opacity so that I can see the detail over top of the drawing. Okay, so that's with the sketch on top at just 10%, so it's not very visible at all, but it's all I need. I don't want it to block what I'm working on. I just want to be able to see what my guidelines were. And you can make out here the trim and the detail, and that's what I'm looking for. I want a nice silver for the buckles and the detail. Have it match the lantern, kind of tie it in with his getup. I still can't believe that Fallout Boy decided to have Courtney Love featured in this of all people. This came out so long ago and I've still never gotten over that. I mean, it's good, but Courtney? I think that's looking pretty sharp. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I have the sketch on top of it right now for guidelines. Let me turn that off for you. Bam. Look at him. Looking all vivid and shit. I got some little details to do in the corners still. But I really think just a little bit of trim spruces up a cape like this a lot. Like a simple outfit like this a lot. Because I did discuss with the commissioner that it's meant to be like fine clothing as well, you know? I always like to ask what kind of budget a character has, because I think that plays a big part in their appearance in like a lot of subtle ways. But I like to add those kinds of subtle storytelling looks, you know? And then I threw my sketch right on top at just 10%, which washes out the color a little bit, but it gives me like my guidelines just barely visible so that it's not covering what I'm doing, but I can use them at the same time, you know?